How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Powered by Primus. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys something extremely special. Now, the first thing I want to say before we get into any of this stuff is that I've been gone for the last couple of days. I haven't been able to post, but I've been really busy. But I'm going to be making it up to you guys today. Now, the fantastic team over at Woods of the Coast did give me some preview cards from Wave 3 to be able to show you guys here on the channel. And I'm going to be showing you guys a character card today. So first off, I wanted to give a big shout out to them. They are absolutely fantastic team. The stuff that they do for this game is actually really good, and it's really easy for us to be on the outside and to really judge a lot of the stuff, but honestly, they do a ridiculously good job from the design of the game, the art, the character setups, just everything in general is really good. Not to mention is never really seen a game development team really be so much a part of the community as they are. They're really quick to answer questions. The roundups are really amazing and stuff like that. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to them. The next shout out I wanted to give is to you guys as our viewers. I wouldn't be able to be in the situation to be able to give you guys some of these exclusive cards if it wasn't for you guys anyway. So a big shout out to you guys as well. So let's get into this character card. So the character card that we're going to be showing is Private Tote. Now he is the second of the off-road patrol that we have gotten thus far. Mudslinger was the first one that we did get, so I'd be really interested to see if we're going to get multiples of these characters to where we could maybe even go 4 wide, 5 wide off of the star count. Would be really interesting. Not to mention, I'd be really curious to see if there's going to be any support for each of these classes. We've seen that there is Battle Patrol and some of the other patrols, so it'd be really interesting to see if they come up with their own different support for them as well, a lot like we saw with the combiners going into Wave 2. Now the next thing about Private Tote is that he is a truck and he is a melee character, which means there's access to quite a bit of few things that are in the game currently. Be really interested to see if there's going to be some more support coming out for those kind of things coming into Wave 3. I would imagine that we're going to get more maybe plain support or melee support and stuff like that, so ranged as well. So we'll probably be getting a lot more of those coming into this wave, so maybe something that's going to really help these guys push a little bit over the top. They do have some lower stats, but they are low star count, so it obviously makes sense. And again, if we can maybe happen to go 4 wide or 5 wide with these things, could be a lot of fun. Plus, so far the two that we've seen are Autobots, and Press the Advantage is still a very real card. Now getting into the stats on the alt mode side, we're looking at 2 attack, 5 health, and 1 armor. Now again, it's lower stars, 4 stars, so I can't really expect a whole lot of stuff on the stat-wise with this. I'm at least happy that it does come with 1 armor. It is a truck, so I would obviously expect a little more armor, especially with tanks and stuff like that. But it does at least have 1 armor, which is nice. I would imagine with the low health of these characters, it's going to be really interesting to build a deck around them, especially how all of them that we've seen so far have tap abilities, which we'll get into here in just a second. So it's always really interesting to see how that stuff's going to work out. They've done a really good job of every time that they release a new wave, is it really changes up the metagame a lot. It really changes how you build, how you used to think about building, how you used to have to just go, this is what I'm working on with my deck, and then now you're like, oh man, my opponent has this, I have to try to take that into account, and all these other things. So they've done a really good job of keeping it fresh and really keeping us moving while adding new mechanics to the game by now adding tap abilities with Wave 3. Now, just like Mudslinger and a lot of the other patrol characters that we've seen, while in alt mode, they do have stealth. Now, the one thing that's really interesting about it is that it's stealth. So stealth means that you can't target that character for an attack unless you have to. So let's say if it's the only tapped character and it has stealth, then you have to go for it. Although if there are 2 tapped characters, then you can't go for the stealth character. Makes a lot of sense. But the funny thing is that if they all have stealth, then none of them have stealth. Now obviously once you flip it to its bot mode, then obviously it does lose the stealth, and then that does allow the other characters to be more protected, so it's going to be really interesting again when it comes to building a deck around these characters and really deciding on who you want to protect the most, because obviously on the turn I would imagine that you're flipping them into bot mode, you're probably going to be flipping them or tapping them for their tap abilities, so it'll be pretty interesting to see how well you can protect a lot of these characters and really try to force your opponent into certain characters while also really being able to protect the ones that you want to protect. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really interested in it. Now we flip over to his bot mode. He keeps the melee again, so obviously all those cards that we previously talked about are going to be good for him. One thing that I'm thinking about is maybe Power Sword if we're going to be going down like the more aggressive route, or you can even go with Body Armor if we're going to be going down the more blue route. Be pretty interesting to see how those things are going to be able to balance out. Keeping the same stats though on bot mode from alt mode, 2 attack, 5 health, and 1 armor, and then has the tap ability It says you may tap this character, scrap a black battle icon card from your hand, and you may untap one of your characters that is 6 or fewer stars. Now, the one thing that's really interesting about this ability is the fact that it allows you to untap a character. So there are really a lot of ways to kind of abuse this mechanic or really try to maximize how much you use it. I guess that's a way better word for it. But let's say you have a character that has another really cool tap ability, or like we've seen on Mudslinger, who has another tap ability as well, that you can tap it, scrap a black card, and then you can move 1 damage from one of your characters onto another character. So let's say you're trying to do a lot of synergy as far as like there's one tap ability that's more specific at the time that you need. So you're allowed to tap this character down to untap another character and then tap them down to use their tap ability. It can be really interesting as far as what you can do. But another thing that I instantly saw when I saw this character being able to untap 6 or fewer was RC. Now RC, Wave 1 RC, apologies, now that we have a coming Wave 3 RC, she has Pierce and can deal an insane amount of damage right now in the game. Between things such as Reckless Charge, Power Punch, Grenade Launcher, a few other weapons, she can really get in there for crazy, crazy damage. Not to mention, she's a 5-star character, and Private Tote here is a 4-star character, so you're only at 9 stars, meaning you still have tons of other stars if you want to put a bigger character with it, or maybe run another small character that's got Brave, so your opponent always has to go into that. And then that leaves star cards for even things such as mounted missiles, or maybe even our new double battle icon card that we've gotten with our release recently that does have a star as well. And then you can really, really push some of those double orange battle icon cards. But being able to attack with RC, hopefully she lives, and then being able to tap Tote down, untap RC, and then do it again sounds extremely powerful. Now again, there's a lot of variables there. Obviously your RC has to live, obviously Toad has to live, but because he is stealth again, you leave him in stealth in that alt mode, and then when you're ready to actually do the tap ability, you flip him for the turn, get that tap ability, untap a character. So that's just one scenario that I can see going to be pretty powerful with it. There just really hasn't been a lot of 6 or fewer star characters. I think it's really specific that it says 6 or fewer. I'm really hoping that, especially now that we've seen this star count on this is the 2nd character in the off-road. We have a 4-star and a 5-star, so maybe the next character that we're going to get for this off-road section is going to be a 6-star character, and then maybe they'll do a 7-star character, or whatever the case may be. Is they might just do like a nice little progressive star count with it, or maybe just have the next 2 be 6-star characters, and then Private Tote gets to really untap any of the other characters in the team, which would be really, really awesome. I do love the fact that there is a lot of synergy, and I do love the fact that they're introducing the tap mechanic. One thing that I'm going to try to do, which will probably be awful, but really build a deck that doesn't ever attack, it only relies on tap abilities to win the game, which would be really fun for me, probably not so much my opponent, so it's definitely going to probably be a more casual kind of a thing, but it is a goal on my Wave 3 checklist. Now, there's obviously a lot more 5-star, 6-star characters that are available, especially with Wave 2, with all the combiners that are out there. So a really fun one that might be able to untap as well with this could be Air Raid. Air Raid is from the aerial bots, and it does say whenever he damages an enemy, he gets to scrap an upgrade that's on that enemy. So it might be really nice to continuously be plucking upgrades off of your opponent. Next one that could be kind of fun could be Alpha Bravo or Warpath, seeing as how they both have Pierce, so maybe being able to constantly Pierce attacking your opponent might be a good play as well with it. But like I said, this one I'm going to specifically be checking out with RC as a possible thing for it, just because, again, RC is just really powerful. All of that Pierce is just really, really good, and being able to attack with her twice in a row is definitely pretty insane. I know there's lots of lists out there now that run things such as like Ready for Action that allow you to untap RC as it is, and she can get in there for crazy damage. So even playing that and the Ready for Action, maybe you're doing it 3 times in a turn, I don't know, it can get pretty nuts. But I am really hoping that there are more off-road patrols specifically, so I can really build a team around obviously all of the off-road patrol characters. Like I said, we have seen Mudslide, who came in at 5 stars. Tote is at 4 stars, which is 9. So that does still leave us quite a bit of stars left in the list, whether it's a big character, or like I said, maybe there's going to be a 6-star and a 7-star, or 6-star and a 9-star. We'll see how it all pans out later on. So Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, I did get lucky enough to get multiple cards to be able to show you guys, so make sure you come back to the channel later on in the week to be able to see those cards. Now, the only way you're going to guarantee that you do get to see those videos by making sure that you are subscribed to the channel. That way you guys can get access to all of our videos as soon as they become available. Obviously, here on the channel, we cover everything from news, gameplay, deck lists, giveaways, and much, much more. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.